Hey guys, it's James here from eBassGuitar, and if you're interested in learning how to play Purple Rain by Prince on the bass guitar, make sure you check this lesson out. I'm going to be sharing some really cool ideas about how you can go about creating your own bass lines over this iconic chord sequence. Hey guys, it's James here from eBassGuitar. So this lesson is all about playing Purple Rain by Prince. In fact, it is from one of the modules from my rock, pop and Motown bassline creation course, where we study the song Purple Rain and look at how to create bass lines over that incredible chord sequence. So this is a real deep dive into some ideas that you can apply to that. So as I said, this is from the rock, pop and Motown bassline creation course. This is literally one of the lessons that you can learn on the course. The course is over 5 hours long. It's got like 30 plus lessons in it, and it's a real sort of exploration of how to play those styles and music. And we cover some ideas that I call bassline creators, which are real systematic frameworks that you can use to create bass lines. They're not ambiguous, they're really to the point, and there's real method behind them. Anyway, I want to share some of this. You can download the PDF that goes with this. This is the course PDF notes too that you get from this using the link below. So make sure you download that because it will help you see what's in the lesson make a lot more sense. So we're going to be covering on this how to apply pumping eighth notes to the Purple Rain groove to really ramp it up and get the energy into there. We're going to be looking at how to create some 16th note fills in that, and also we're going to look at how to hit that unison phrase bang on right at the end. I really hope you enjoy this lesson. If you want to discover more about the course, there is a link below there where you can get it for a very special price as one of the YouTube subscribers. So anyway, I'm going to leave you with the lesson Purple Rain, or Purple Thunder as we call it, from the pop, rock and Motown bassline creation course. So welcome to lesson 4 of module 4. Now it's time to talk about the outro. If you remember back to lesson 1 of this module, I told you that this tune just builds and builds and builds, and we're constantly looking for those devices, those extra gears to really ramp things up. And if you go back to the original of Purple Rain, there's this amazing outro with an iconic guitar line in there, which I've put in this track here. So there is a version of this with just the outro isolated that you can practice around to, but please do put it in the context of the whole track to listen how this ramps up. Now we want to hit some amazing energy towards the end when you hear this line at the end. And one of the things I would do to achieve that, and I actually listened to myself do this on a gig a couple of weeks ago, so I know this is an idea that I personally use. This isn't theory, this is real world stuff. So is to put this, to go from the lines that we were creating with like the 2/4/2/8 groove creators, that kind of thing, and put them into a straight pumping eighths fills. So we're going from this idea of going to from that idea to really going into pumping eighths, which we covered already in this course. So, okay, the light and shade, the tension and release between those two lines can be quite extraordinary. So you've gone from a line which is dancing around to something which is just really belting you in the face. So this is quite simple. All we do is pump on an eighth note. Now, what happens when we hit the E flat? There is this amazing unison line which happens in the song, which most of the band play. Now, as bass players, something very common that we have to do is be grooving around, being a groove master as we call them, dancing around, improvising our own lines, but occasionally you will have to hit these solly lines, okay? Solly is a technical term, or unison is probably another term you can use, where things go with the whole band. This could be a line like this, a phrase that everybody plays together, together. It could be some rhythmic stabs where you're punching out the bat bat, which may go with the drums or something like that. But so you have to be able to almost switch mindset from going, I'm doing my own thing, and then I'm jumping in with the rest of the band to hit these things together. And I love that feeling where the whole band comes together and plays something collectively, because you just feel everything and ramp up, the energy just hit a whole new level. But there is this line that I'm going to talk you through, which is played on every fourth bar of this sequence. You can hear it on the original track, and I've put it in this version here. So let me play it to you so you can hear it first, then we'll talk about it. Here, pumping eighths, then we have this line. Then it goes back around. And loads of the band are playing that, the guitars, the keyboards, etc, etc. But let's talk about the line. So this is a line based on an E flat major scale going down. All the notes are part of our key signature that we've got going on, so there's nothing there. But what makes this so unusual and so kind of pertinent almost is there's this concept called syncopation in there. Syncopation is playing off-beat notes that go across the beat. So everything we've done up to this point is pretty square, etc. But then we hit this thing where we're going bum gunk gunk gong yada dum bum, and we're playing accents. We're getting them punching out. You can see the little accent sign I put there, but we're crucially playing them off beat, which creates an amazing tension and release effect. So how this line is constructed, I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. It's a very easy one to feel, but how it works is it's actually groupings of 3/16 notes. So each of those is 3/16, and we get this line which kind of consistently gets more and more displaced. Is a technical term that we use. Drummers will use that, displacements, from the original part. So it's dunk gong 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 dunk gong 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 dunk. You might feel a little bit uncomfortable to play. It takes practice to sing displacements against the pulse. But if you look at this, I'll just say we start on beat 1, and then the next note happens on 1E and so the 1 the last 16th note of beat 1, and then that's held over. Then the next note happens on this third 16th, so halfway through the second beat, and then the last note of those 4 notes happens on the second 16th note of the third beat. So dunk gunk gunk gunk. So you've got those running 3/16 notes against it, which is such an effective device. It's used loads. But then to pull it back round, we literally place that on beat 4. Another song which has this same rhythmic idea is Hotel California. The guitar line at the end, it uses using these triplet ideas that are getting more and more displaced as the bar goes on. So, but let's not talk about that too much, but we get dun gung gunk gong. Ba ba da bum, and that's really square, just lands on beat 4 to pull it back round. So let's put this in context so you can hear what it sounds like with the track. So in example 2, we want to take this pumping 8th notes feel and add some extra energy into it. You may want to do that. So I just want to plant the seed of a concept which you can explore yourself even more. I want to take the pumping 8th notes here, and I'm going to layer like example 1 of lesson 3, where we added the 16th notes in it there. So the 2, 4, 2, 8, baseline balancer. So what I've done is I've literally added them in on the end of the bar. So there's the 2 there, there's the 4 there, there's the 2 there, and then that phrase there will stay the same because that unison line is now kind of preset. It's in there. It's a part of the composition of the bigger sort of picture, I guess, of the whole tune. So let me just show you what this sounds like, and then we'll try it with a track. So. So as you can see, these extra little lines just add some movement in there. So when you've got into that pumping eighth notes, which might be something that you want to do, this just adds another level of excitement. Let's do it with the track. So the last example of this module is I want to plant the seed of one more idea. Up until this point, I've told you that fills always happen at the end of the phrase, and that typically is the place where they all happen. But a couple of things can happen, a couple of sort of phenomenons. Here is we have this unison line, which is at the end of the phrase. So the last thing we really want to be doing is filling over the top of that. It's going to sound quite messy, and it's important to have the energy of all the musicians playing that line together. But the other phenomenon that can happen there is that everybody starts playing their fills at the end of the bar. So you might have the drummer going for a big one, the bass player going for a big keyboards, guitar, everybody, and you can end up with this sort of cacophony of noise, depending on the musicians that you're working with. Sometimes you might have a busy bass player, sparse drummer. The Motown sound was very much like that with Benny Benjamin and James Jamerson, that kind of sound, but it can work the other way round. So, but in this instant, when I was looking at myself playing this the other week, one of the things that I often do is front load the fill. And so what I mean is I actually displace the fill, or displace, I move the fill onto beat one of the next bar. So I actually, rather than the end of the phrase, I fill at the beginning, and it can be a very effective thing. Drummers do this quite a bit sometimes with filling over the bar line. That's very common in gospel music. They like doing that. With all of these, they come with a slight kind of musical health warning that you've got to be careful where you do them. But I just want to share the concept that you don't necessarily always have to fill at the end of the phrase. There are other places you can do it. So listen out for it. All of these rules are here to be broken eventually in this module, because it's just giving you a framework to build balanced musical bass lines from. But anyway, let's talk about how this works. I'm going to teach you this line first of all. So it's dum, 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 like so. So it is the dum, dum, dum. So we're going to go down a B flat major 7 arpeggio using chord tones, and then we're going to land on the root on beat 4. Then we're just going to, so down to the major 7 and back up, and then to the 3rd at the end to hit the next chord. So that's a really nice, beautiful sounding line. So when you put it all together, you end up with this. Okay. But to put this in context, I'm actually going to play a bar of pumping eighths through there, and then we're going to go into the rest of this as written, go through the unison line there, and then I'm going to hit this fill on the end of that, so you can hear what this sounds like in context, the effect that displacing or moving the fill onto the first beat of the next section, or first bar of the next section, can have. So guys, this is the end of module 4. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Please do have some fun with it. We are laying some seeds here for you to go out and create your own bass lines, have some really balanced ideas, musical ideas, and have a concept of what to play when, how busy to make your lines, when the fills should ideally be placed. And once you've got some more experience with this, feel free to break the rules and see what you come up with. And above all, just listen to the great bass players and what they do, how they construct their lines, where their fills go. On the next lesson, I'm going to do a version of this playing all the way through. I'm going to just play it as myself. We're going to have some fun. I'm going to start simple. I'm going to get busier and busier so you can see the sort of ideas that are coming out of my head, how I would play this in a live gig situation. Anyway, I really hope you've enjoyed module 4 and I will see you on module 5. Cheers for now. Hey guys, it's James here, and I really hope you enjoyed that lesson based on Prince's Purple Rain and had a huge amount of fun with it. Again, there is a link below this in the description where you can grab a copy of the Pop, Rock and Motown Bassline Creation course at a really special price. If you've enjoyed this lesson, I would love to know what other songs you would like us to cover on the YouTube channel. We're going to really start deep diving into some of the most popular bass lines ever written and showing you guys how to play them. So please do comment below. If you've enjoyed this lesson, please do give it a like and share. Please, again, leave your comments. We really do read all of them and try our very best to respond to them. Anyway, I've been James from eBassGuitar. You can discover more about what we do in the world of bass education at eBassGuitar.com. I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.